In 2025, prop firms is one of the easiest ways to make money from home, anywhere, where you want, with who you want, how you want, which is kind of the definition of what I call freedom. And why is that? Because from as little as $39 or even $500, you can buy a 25K account, 5K account, or a 100K account and use that money as a leverage to be able to trade with. Now, if you did or didn't know what prop firms are, is prop firms are a simulated company that give you phase 1 and phase 2, or sometimes even instant funding, and give you access to their liquidity, and then they will give you up to 80% of the profits you make on the challenge. Now, if that sounds interesting, in this video, I'm going to explain FundedNext, which is one of the top companies in the whole industry where they guarantee $1,000 if you are not paid out within 24 hours. So I'm going to go through how prop firms work. Not only am I going to go through how prop firms work, I'm going to go through their challenges and how you can make money right now and capitalize. So if that sounds good, let's start the video. Okay, so I'm going to start off by jumping straight into how it works. So ultimately, it's in just a few simple steps and you are able to make money from what we call prop firms. And what you basically do is you buy a challenge, and this challenge can be any account size, which you can see right here. It could be a 5K, it could be a 10K, it could be different types of challenges, and I'll go through and explain all the challenges later in the video in the second step. But for now, what we want to do is just jump straight into it and understand how we can make money. Now, if you did or didn't know, basically you can trade the markets, and for FundedNext it's CFDs, so you're able to trade instruments such as like indices, so like the FTSE 100, the S&P 500, or if you wanted to trade commodities such as gold or silver. And ultimately CFDs basically are mainly used for Forex, so for example GBP USD or GBP JPY, you can trade any of those foreign exchange companies. Now, as you're trading on those foreign exchange companies, the goal is simply to pass phase 1 and then pass phase 2, get funded, and then from there you will be able to achieve an 80% profit split. So for example, jumping straight into it, is if you had for example a 100K trading account and you were able to stick within the rules and adhere to the plan and also get funded and then make 10K, you would then therefore get paid $8,000 right into your bank account, which sounds crazy, right? Because not only that as well, if you are not paid within 24 hours, one of the perks that FundedNext gives is they will pay you an extra $1,000. So essentially you have an opportunity to make $9,000 from trading these prop firm challenges. And the best part, this 100K account only costs $549 to start. That's right. So an investment of $549, you could potentially make $9,000. And not only that as well, you want to hear one last crazy thing that you can add on to this? That fee is actually a refundable fee. So there's a link in the description below if you do want to start your challenge at the end of this video or during this video, and it's 120%. So you're going to get an extra 20% off of your sign-up fee and 80% on your profit split. So that's a little bit of the basics of how it works and how you can get paid. Now, let's go into the nitty-gritty details and understand how do these challenges actually work, how do I pass them, and how can I actually get to that funded stage. Right, so FundedNext has basically 4 types of programs, and many companies actually do have many different programs and offerings. So what we're going to start is what we call a 2-step traditional challenge. And what that 2-step means is basically there is 2 phases. For example, phase 1, there'll be a 10% or an 8% profit target, and then in phase 2 you would have to make a 5% profit target. In this instance, FundedNext has a great offering of only 8%. So basically it's saying on that $100,000 account, to pass phase 1 you just need to make 8%. So if you make 8%, so $8,000 on that 100K account, you pass. That's it. You stop trading, you wait for the next account, and then you go on to your second step, aka phase 2. And on phase 2, if you make that 5%, you are then funded. And then from the funded period, you are then able to keep 80% of the profit. It sounds a bit too easy, right? Now here's the catch. So here's the catch is basically a lot of people cannot adhere to the rules because they normally end up breaching the rules such as maximum overall loss, maximum daily loss, or even just anything that's in the hidden rules, which I'll explain in a third step in that funded company. Now, every funded company is different. Some companies have a lot of hidden rules, which is to try and catch you out, which is why I personally say try and stay within the top 5. And if you want to see that, I've made other videos telling you the top 5 prop firms to trade with in 2025. We'll do a new version for 2026. So the rule is simple. Now, you know what targets you have to hit, the 8 and 5%. Now, what do you have to stay within and the restriction? The restriction is basically not to have a maximum overall loss of 10% and then a daily loss of 5%. And that is it. That's it. That's actually the catch. Pretty much as long as you do not break that 10% and 5% daily rule and a maximum overall, you will be able to keep that account and keep trading it until you have either hit your profit target or hit your loss. Now, personally, I won't go into it too much. One of the reasons of why everyone fails is because the accounts cost so little and the opportunity is so big. And what a lot of traders often focus on is basically the big payouts. And instead of thinking of the small compounded growth, they're always thinking of the $9,000, which I explained to you. Now, that is something that we should get over a period of time, compounded consistency off of our trading. And it takes time to build that skill set. Remember, there are professionals in the market. It took me 4 years to become profitable. It's not going to take you within 1 month to get funded and be profitable for the rest of your life. So do take it slow, and that's my piece of advice. So now we know how to pass and what constitutes as a fail. Here are some extra things that we should know when taking these challenges. 15% of the profit share from challenges will be paid to you. So for example, if you take a $100,000 account, you'll get a bonus of $1,950 on your first payout. On top of that as well, there are things like news restrictions. So on all of these account sizes, you are able to trade news. On some companies, you aren't. You have a profit split up to 95%, and this is due with when you scale your accounts and when you have consistent trading with them. Another thing is they have a minimum trading days of 5 days. So you have to actually be trading for 5 days. You can't just YOLO this in one trade, aka constitutes as gambling. So you have to actually pretty much show that your strategy that you have can work over a consistent period of time, and you can be trading it for 5 days. Your first withdrawal will be 21 days after that. And that's pretty much a 2-step challenge. Very, very simple, and it's what they call their 2-step Stella. Now, coming on to their 1-step Stella, and it's pretty much the same focus and the same rules as the 2-step would have. Now, as the name suggests, the only difference is from a 2-step or a 2-phase, it goes into a 1-step, aka a 1-phase. And the profit target, instead of 8%, becomes 10%, which is the difference you can see on here, which is 8% and then 5%, whereas here it's only 10%. And the biggest difference between both of them is the drawdown. So the maximum overall drawdown you can have is 10% and maximum daily is 5%. But on the Stella, it becomes a 6% and then 3%. So pretty much reduced by 4% on the overall and then another 2% on the daily. When it comes to the profit split, it's still 95%. Minimum trading days drops from 5 days down to 2 days, and your first withdrawal comes into 5 days. Now, some of you might be thinking, hey, that sounds so much easier to do. Why wouldn't more people go with the 1-step? Well, the thing is, on the 1-step, it is actually a lot harder to maintain because you have much less of a buffer. You have less overall, obviously overall loss. You have your less overall daily loss. And not only that as well, the challenge fees are a little bit more expensive than the 2-step. Not massively, but just a little bit. It just depends, because when you are funded and you look at the overall picture, if you only have 6%, that means, let's just say on the 100K, you only have $6,000 leeway. But on a 2-step, yes, it may take a little bit more time, but you have $10,000 leeway, which in my eyes, I see it as a $10,000 trading account. So moving on, we have the Stella Lite. This Stella Lite program is basically where it's more cost effective, where the 100K account is $399 as opposed to $549. You have an 8% profit target and a 4%, so 1% lower. However, your maximum overall loss and your maximum daily loss reduces by 2% and 1%. So again, it basically just reduces the amount you can lose, reducing basically your trading margin or your capital that you have with or to play with, therefore giving you a different opportunity. Now, personally, between all of these challenges, it really just depends on your trading style. But in step 3 and the final part of the video, I'll give you a summary and tell you what I prefer and some experiences on how to maximize your opportunities and your gains within this. Now, I am able to do this because I've done over 400K in payouts and I've done 105K with one of the most established funds, aka FTMO. So going on to their last plan, which is the Stella Instant, which is aka their instant funding. So you pretty much just buy the account and you are instantly funded, which is kind of crazy. So you can get a $5,000 account, $10,000 account, and $20,000 account. You are not able or eligible to get a refund on this, and on top of that, your maximum overall loss and is 6% across the board. There is no daily loss limit. The loss is actually trailing. So what that means is it will follow how much your account buffer has, which is very, very, very difficult to maintain and keep. So I highly recommend you go and understand what trailing drawdown is. We've got other videos explaining that. And more importantly, there is just more restrictions. I mean, there's no consistency rule, but it is a lot more expensive to get this plan. Just a 20K plan alone is $780, whereas your two-step plan here is $550 already, is like 5 times the account size, but $200 less. So it depends. You either want to get instantly funded now and to slowly compound your payouts, or try and go through the two-step program, take a little bit longer, and then try and maintain that account size from there. So that is how funded programs work. That is the challenges explained for FundedNext. Now here's my 2 pence. Personally, I would always go for the two-step challenge. I think that it builds your trading skill set. I think it builds character. I also believe it's with the industry standard account size that I am used to the most. And more importantly, having that 10% drawdown just gives you more leeway and the opportunity to keep that account for longer and maximize your profits as an overall long-term part of your career. Alongside with that, you're able to scale up. For example, if you were to do two-step, you can get up to 300K funded. 300K funded would be 100K, $549 a pop. So it's $1,500 to get $300,000 worth of funding. If I make 10%, that's $30,000. Honestly, that's more than enough, because that's some people's salary for the whole year. Now, if you had to break it down, and this is something I want to leave you with, is imagine if that was just your 1-year goal, just to get 300K funded and make 10% on that 300K. That then can be your freedom ticket. It can be your opportunity to have a skill for a lifetime. And more importantly, we have set a realistic goal. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. If you did enjoy these types of guides, please comment below. More importantly, if you are going to look to get a challenge with FundedNext, please use the code WChampFX. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And of course, we will do a giveaway in this video, which I'm going to mention right now. Is all you have to do is, number 1, like and subscribe to video. Number 2, comment what you have learned or which challenge you would go for. And number 3, just go and tag me on Instagram, on Twitter. We will be picking 5 winners, and it will be just across the platform off of Twitter or Instagram. All right, see you in the next video. Champ out. Peace.